Hey there, good morning. Michelle Clark, business coach and author of Woman Up, the podcast and the book, coming to you live today, chatting to you about shining bright like a diamond. Now, darling, I know that you are here to shine bright like a diamond. We are all here to shine bright like diamonds, yet we just don't do it, right? We worry about being seen as being a skite. We worry that if we say too much, then we're going to hinder our own progress, and then people are going to say, see, I told you so. There are just so many things that we worry about. And what I want to talk to you about today is, first of all, why shining bright like a diamond is so important for you, and not just you, but for other people as well. Then we're going to talk about 5, potentially more. I wrote down a whole lot for you this morning. We're going to talk about the 5 core wounds and how you can actually move past those. But first of all, let's dive into why you do want to shine like a bright diamond. So what is shining bright like a diamond? Shining bright like a diamond is being all of you, the truest, most happiest, most authentic version of you. But we get so tripped up, right? We don't want to bring our silliness and all of our creativity and fun to the business world because we think that we must be a certain way to be in business. And then we hinder our own energy and our own progress because we're squashing our own innate shining bright diamond. Or we feel like we want to be this bright, amazing diamond, and we get these great results, and we go to tell someone like, oh, but that person's not doing so well, and I don't want to make them feel bad. So there are so many reasons why we don't do it, but let me tell you all of the reasons that you do want to do it. And to do that, I'm going to first of all tell you a story, a little bit of a similarity and why we do those two things differently. So let's imagine that I lost 3 kilos. I wish that I lost 3 kilos. I didn't. But if I lost 3 kilos, I'd be pretty proud about that, right? And I would be saying to all my friends, it was really great. And I got this weight loss coach, and she helped me to figure out the things that were stopping me, and she gave me the systems that worked. And then I did it. And sure, it was a little bit hard work, but I did it, and I'm amazing. And I'd be wearing clothes that I'd feel really sexy in, and I could show everyone that I look really sexy, and I would inspire them to do great things, right? Like, that is the truth about weight loss, is that there is always going to be overweight people that want to be inspired to lose weight as well. We all want to know that something works. So why would we do it with weight loss, but we don't do it with business success? We get a client and we're like, yeah, we tell our husbands, we're all really excited, but secretly we think it's a little fluke, right? And so we don't go out, we don't tell the rest of the world, and then the rest of the world is not getting inspired. So regardless of what is going on in other people's lights, and regardless of what's going on in other people's lives, I want you to be the shining bright diamond. I want you to be the lighthouse that says, hey, look, I'm a normal person. I've got warts. I make mistakes. I trip over myself. But if I can be successful, then so can you. Because if we're not showing people to be successful, then what have they got to hope for? How are they going to know that it actually works? How are they going to actually know that they too can have that success? And what are we showing our kids? Right? If we don't show them that the hard work that it takes to get there and celebrate the successes when we get there, they just grow up in a world where they're like, yep, success just comes to you, and just money just flows to you, and things just happen exactly how they're supposed to. And let's face it, like, that's what my teenager thinks, right? Like, you just turn up and success happens, unless I actually tell her about what goes on. So we're not responsible just for ourselves. We're also responsible for how other people feel around us. We're responsible for what we're showing our kids out in the world. Not just that. Right? When you go out there and you're proud of your successes and you're really the lighthouse that shows other people that you can be successful, then you are helping to boost the economy. People feel better and they're like, oh, things are going cool, right? Well, let's spend some money and the economy's going great, so you're helping to boost the economy. You're helping to make people feel better. Let's face it, how do you feel after you've watched the news? You feel pretty shit, right? Because it's all doom and gloom and blah, blah, and negative. And by the time you finish watching it, you're like, oh my God, life is so hard, I just can't do this. Don't add to that, be in the opposite direction of that. And I think we're just so used to being pulled down in that direction that being up in this direction just feels weird, and it feels like we're being a skite. But I want you to know that you're not being a skite if you talk about it. It's just like losing the weight. You're inspiring others. It's good for your business, right? Because when you talk about the good things that happen in your life, when you think about the good things that are happening in your business, you're manifesting more of that. But if you just wake up and go, oh my God, where's my next sale coming from today? That's what you're manifesting in your business. Oh my God, where's the next sale coming from? It's not coming. But if you wake up and you think, oh my God, I've got this. Yesterday I landed that big client. It felt so good. And I know that more is coming today. It's going to be good for your business. Now, if your business is going fantastically, you're helping more clients, right? That's what you're here to do, change the world. You're inspiring others to do really well in business. You might inspire someone that's working in a job that they hate to set up their own business. You're inspiring your children to know that they can do whatever it takes to be a success themselves. Like, you're inspiring so many other people around you, as well as creating wealth in your own business. Now, when you're wealthy, you can help a whole lot of other people. I can't remember the person who said this quote. I can't remember, maybe Abraham Lincoln, or it was someone really way back. But you can't help a poor person by becoming poor yourself, right? When you make more money, you can support more people. It's good for your family. It's great for your relationships, because when you're making lots of money, you're feeling on top of the world, you're being the lighthouse, you're shining like that little sparkly diamond, then you are a better person to be around. People gravitate towards people that are having fun and feeling fine, right? Just like you feel yucky when you've come away from watching the news, you feel great when you've been around a positive person. And it's good for the world at large. When you're emitting these great sparkly vibes out into the world, you're actually increasing the vibe of the whole world. So I hope that those 5 points there have convinced you that you do want to shine bright like a diamond. Now let's dive on down to why you're not shining bright like a diamond. You know deep down that you're supposed to be successful. And if you're really honest with yourself, you're wondering why you're not already walking down the red carpet, right? Like, you just know in your heart, even though yesterday might have felt tough, or you're worried about next week, you know deep down that your business is going to be absolutely cranking, because your product or your service is here to change the mother fluffing world, right? So you know that you're going to do amazing things. Yet you feel like it might be a little bit of a fluke. You're like, oh, yeah, I had that great success. Oh, but I can't recreate that tomorrow. So you're kind of creating this push-pull thing in your life where you feel great, you're moving forward, and then you kind of hit a roadblock, which is generally one of the 5 core wounds in your mind, which I'm going to talk about soon. And then that snaps you backwards, and then you've got to work your way towards it again. So the way to move forward more powerfully and only think about the good things so that you can manifest that into your business and change the world and help the world to feel amazing is to deal with those core wounds. So why is it that we're afraid about talking about being successful in business? There are so many bullshit stories. It's just time to bust some of them. Okay, let's just get started. You think that being successful was a fluke. That's because deep down you don't feel worthy of the success. You feel like you just kind of hit on the golden secret formula, but it was all just a surprise and you don't actually know how to do that. You're pretending that you don't know what your soul is here to do. You're pretending that you just show up and do the next thing in front of you, but you don't. If you just wiped all of those next things in front of you, if you completely forgot about the strategy and all you did every day was you got up and you said, what am I actually here to do in the world? And what is the one thing that I should be doing today? You would be successful. You complicate it with all these strategies. You complicate it with all these stories in your head. It's not a fluke that you were successful. It just so happened that you got out of your own way on that particular day. And that's why coaching works so powerfully, because it teaches you how to get out of your own way so that you rise up to this level. And then you go along for a while and then you hit that and then you need a coach again to raise you up to the next level. And that's the secret, right? Just keep on working. It is not a fluke. You think that the way that you reach success is undesirable and dirty. So many people think that sales is sleazy, but it's so not. If you don't bring your goods to the world, you're not changing people's lives. And that's what you're here to do. You're here to change the world. And unless you're actually selling your product or service, you're not going to be changing the world, right? There is nothing wrong with being successful. And there is nothing wrong with being paid extremely well just for the inherent value of being you. People will get exactly the value out of something that they pay for it. If you pay $5 for something, your brain's like, yeah, it's not that important. You've all bought that little lead magnet, right, for $5 and it languished in your inbox. You didn't even bother reading it. Of course, it didn't get you any changes because you didn't read it, right? If you'd paid $500, you would have made damn sure that you got results out of that, right? So it's about telling your brain that it's actually important. You don't want to make others feel bad, right? you see other people in pain, and you dive down into that pain. Little Sherry down the road, she's lost her business, and that cafe over there is closed. And people say to me all the time, because I just refuse not to be a lighthouse. I can't not be positive. If I was pretending to be doom and gloom, then I actually wouldn't be being myself. I'd be pretending to be someone else to make other people happy. And I don't do that anymore, because it leads to depression. Let me tell you, it leads to a big black hole where you're just crying and sobbing on the floor, and I'm just not willing to go back there. So now I just choose to be all of me. And if it irritates other people, you're going to irritate people no matter who you are. That's one of the next points we're going to come to. Actually, not everyone's going to like you. But let me stay on track for this. So you don't want to make others feel bad. But the whole truth is this: growth comes from pain. If we're just always agreeing with everyone, if we're just always talking to other people that have our same worldview, we're not growing. We're not being challenged. If you want to dive into a pity party with Susie down the road, do you think you're actually going to help her to start up a new business or go and find a brand new amazing job where she feels amazing? No, you're just going to make her feel even shittier, right? So, hey, it doesn't mean you don't come with compassion, right? You know what, Susie? I bet it was really hard to do that. I bet it has really snapped a few little chords in your soul. I really feel your pain. But I know that things are going to be amazing for you, Susie. And I know that everything happens for us, not to us. If I can be a sounding board for you and help you to get back on your feet, just let me know. Okay, so let them know that you're available for them, but not that you're available to whinge. Because if they're whinging and they're like, oh my God, my life is terrible, their life is going to be bloody terrible. And so's yours, because you're listening to that crap. Right? Don't be that person. You don't have to dive down into the pit with them to raise a person up. You can acknowledge the pit and then help them to float to the top, because you, darling, are here to shine bright like a diamond and inspire other people. Okay, you want to be liked. Very, very, very real core wound, especially for women, right? For everyone, but especially for women. We want to be liked. But let me tell you this. There were people that didn't like Mother Teresa. Right? You are never going to be liked by everyone. But as soon as you stop trying to be this person that people liked, guess what? You're going to like yourself. And guess what happens when you like yourself? Other people automatically like you. I don't know why it took me 30 odd years to figure this out, but it's true. No one is going to like you all of the time, because if you're pretending to be someone you're not so that other people will like you, then you just come off as fake and flaky and a bit untrustworthy, so they're not going to like you anyway. And when you're being someone that you don't particularly like, or that you're pretending you're not going to like yourself, so you're going to emit these horrible energies that is going to attract more yuckiness to you. Honestly, just stand up and be who you are. Me, I'm a person who stands up and I'm like, right, I'm going to be the lighthouse, and I swear, and I'm silly, and I empower women, and I don't care who that offends, because I'm here to serve my tribe. And serving my tribe is more important to me than offending someone over there. Because honestly, if they're getting offended over there, maybe it's for their higher purpose. Maybe they need to be offended so they can move into something else, So I just don't worry about what anyone else thinks, and it makes you a far more likable person. You don't want people to be jealous and shoot daggers in your direction. Yeah, I get that. When we show up and we say, I just landed a $5,000 client yesterday, and, the other person down the road is struggling, we're afraid that they're going to be pointing daggers in our direction, that we're going to then be affected by their negative energy. And sure, you could be. So protect yourself energetically every day and carry on. Know that there is always going to be daggers coming your way. Know that there is always going to be people that aren't celebrating your successes with you, but it doesn't matter. Showing up and being a lighthouse for other people, showing up and inspiring others with your success, showing up and being successful in business so that you can actually serve your customers and make a change in the world is far more important than your fear. If you take nothing else away from this live stream today, I want you to take away that your fear is not as important as you showing up and making the changes in the world that you're here to make. And if you just said that to yourself every single day, you would become so brave and you would get such great business results. Seriously, I could write a whole course just on that one topic. Okay, you worry that the success will stop, and then everyone else will say to you, told you so, told you it was just a fluke, I told you shouldn't have been bragging about it, told you shouldn't have been, throwing your success in everybody's face. You think that it was just a fluke. It kind of ties into the first thing that we talked about, right? You're worried that the success was a fluke and therefore you shouldn't talk about it because you can't actually recreate it. But if you're thinking those thoughts, that's actually what you're manifesting into your life. So just ditch those thoughts, right? It is not a fluke. You got success because you cut your own bullshit stories and you showed up authentically and out loud like a real person. And that is the trick to success, showing up every day as that authentic, out loud person. Second to last one, you'll be embarrassed by the attention. Possibly you will be embarrassed by the attention if you stand up and say, oh my God, I got this success. But guess what? You will get used to it, just the same as doing anything. Just like if you lost weight and started turning up in sexy clothes, when you got the attention, if you'd been well overweight for quite some time, you might be embarrassed by the attention at first, but you're soon going to get used to it. It soon becomes your new normal. Success soon becomes your new normal. And that's how you're inspiring the world, right? When you show up as a successful person who still gets to make mistakes, who still gets to not be successful every day, just because you talk about your success and inspire others doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Nobody expects you to be perfect. No one's going to go, ha ha, I told you so, because they're just going to be so inspired that you actually are showing up and being a lighthouse for them. You're afraid that others will be disappointed and give up. Not true. Hang on, what was I talking about with my point that you're afraid others will be disappointed and give up? No, every single weight loss ad that you see, right? Here's Jenny and she lost 5 kilos. Oh my God, it was amazing. And sometimes Jenny puts the weight back on, right? And doesn't make people disappointed and give up. No, it just makes them go, hey, she's a normal person as well. And that's exactly what's going to happen, right? You're not going to be successful every single day. You're going to have shit days. But the thing is, if you keep your mindset focused and you follow what is in your soul, you are going to be successful. Success is not like this. Success is like this. And that's just perfectly normal. You just have to accept that that is normal. So, my darlings, I really want you to show up and be the lighthouse for other people. I want you to show up and celebrate all those successes. I want you to plan your product launches and absolutely nail them. It is time for you to be super successful. It is just time to take some action to get to where you want to go. Now, I know that you can get there on your own, and I also know that you can get there so much faster with a coach, right? So imagine being back in when was it? In the 70s, right? And my uncle had a brand new computer and you had to do all this super coding where there came this massive manual about this. Like, imagine being back in the 70s. You get a computer, but you don't get a manual. You could spend the next 10 years figuring it out, right? Or you could buy the manual, follow the strategy, or hire someone to help you to tell you how to use the computer and get those results. Coaching is exactly the same. It just allows you to bust through the bullshit stories. It gives you the structure that actually works, and it gives you the systems that you need, right? Because there's different systems for every person. So we start with you and make you the successful person. Then we talk about the strategies that work, and then we give you the systems that plug into those. That creates a whole thing that just gets you massive success. And people often say, oh, I'm not sure that I can afford the coaching. Can you not afford it? Like, people pay, $300 for a haircut, but they worry, are they going to get a return on investment for the coaching for the same price? You absolutely are. I mean, I have people that turn up and do one training and then go and land $1,000 client. Is that a return on investment? Hell yeah, it is. It's a 300% return on investment, right? So yes, it is absolutely worth it. Yes, you can get success on your own. I know that you can, because I know that you're here to do great things in the world and that you will figure it out. But if it's time to just get there faster, if it's time to just bust the bullshit, I want you to reach out to me today. Now is the time. I have 2 spaces, and if you're here in New Zealand, it is possible that I can get you fully funded coaching. So reach out. It really is time right now. The best way to reach me is to just send me a PM through my Facebook page, Michelle Business Coach. And remember, my darlings, together we shall rise. We have this. Be the shining beacon. Be the person that allows others to be inspired and be successful too. Get on with changing the world. Bye for now.